Hey you guys, welcome back. All right, we got another unboxing. This is the FMS FCX24M Tacoma. I ordered this on the day that fairrc did the live announcement. I think it was like last Tuesday or so. I can't exactly remember. And this arrived yesterday, so about a week or so for delivery. Not too bad. At the time, it was $99. It was like kind of like their pre-order sale, but it wasn't really a pre-order because it shipped like the next day. So I'm not sure why. And then it's last I knew, it still said pre-order on the website. Not sure if they changed that or not. Since then, it's gone up to their $129.99 normal price that they're going to have, I guess. So unfortunately, the sale's over. But I'm sure they'll go on sale again. They're always having sales and everything. Let's open it up. There we go. That looks so good. I told myself I wasn't going to buy any more minis because I like them most of the time, but they're so small to work on, and sometimes they just kind of get annoying. But they look so good a lot of times, and they're cheap. They are cheap to work on a lot of times because the parts are so much smaller and everything. Let's see here. I picked the blue. You can get it in red, blue, or gray. I really was aiming towards the gray, but a lot of times I end up going towards gray, so I was just trying to get a different color. So I'm not going to read off all this. That's a ton of words that I don't feel like I need to, but I'll put it here, and you guys can pause it if you really want to read all of that. Like I said, I got blue, red, gray. This is the FCX24M, so it's more closer to the actual 24th scale, unlike the FCX24 non-M, which I guess was closer to FCX18, like an 18th scale. Which I've never owned one of these. This is my first FMS Mini RC. The only other FMS I have is my LC80 Pro, and that's been great. So hoping it's going to be pretty good. This one has a longer wheelbase than the other 24Ms. This is 153 millimeter. I think it's like 20 millimeters longer. I don't remember. Like I said, I don't own one either, so I can't even have one. I don't have one to compare. And I'll put that up there just in case you want to pause it. But you can find this information on their website anyways. And yeah, so let's see. How's this? There we go. Struggle. Let's with the controller and everything. There it is. What do we got here? All right, and that's it. Got the manual. Yeah, looks like it, the usual parts diagram and breakdowns, everything in a couple different languages. Right there. Let's go through this real quick. I'm sure there's not much in here. The usual Fly Sky controller, which I do like these controllers, and I'm glad that they added a foam wheel now. I hope all the stock ones are going to now come like this, because usually they just had the plastic wheel, which wasn't bad, but it was easier to slip on. So this one's the FuriTech FX118. But yeah, definitely liking the foam. I do wish that they kind of pushed this out a little farther, because it's right, for me at least, I'm hitting that channel 3. So I have to kind of make sure I'm going around it with, more just for comfort. I'm not gonna actually hit it, but but they are nice and small and comfortable. These are, I think, AAAs. Yeah, AAAs, which I don't think it comes with, so I'll have to try to find some. Let's see, you got the usual USB charger, which I know people say don't use these, but I still use these a lot of times, especially on the go. I have them in my bags and everything. It comes with different grills, because this is like a stock bumper. Well, I think that a lot of this was, I think it depended on what package you got of the Tacoma. Because when I look up a 3rd gen Tacoma, I see both. I see the Toyota emblem, and then I see it with Tacoma on it, and then I see this regular bumper, and then I see one of the shackles that we have. It comes with a little Phillips, which, from what I hear, there's only a couple things that are Phillips, so I guess it's okay. But it's just crazy to me that in 2025 we're still going to have Phillips on stuff. Comes with an extra metal gear, which I guess in the transmission, I don't know which one, but this one is plastic, and for some reason it comes with a metal. So I don't know if maybe later on they realized that they had an issue with it, and so they sent this after so you can swap it in. Or I don't know why you would have this extra. It doesn't really make sense to me. Just some things saying it was probably packaged. And then the usual Allens and cross wrench that we now have. We all have like 1,000 of. And onto the truck. That blue looks great. And it's like a metallic blue. I don't know if that shows. You can kind of see it. Look at the hood. Look at the roof. It's like a metallic blue. That's good looking. Tape it down here. Yeah. What do we got here? That's still not it. We really have to open up this box to get this? We do. Why would you do it that way? We'll just sneak in here and hopefully cut these. Did that work? Yes, that worked. Okay, just sneak in and cut. That is a good looking truck. I saw this and I kind of, like I said, I wasn't going to buy any more minis, but this just looked too good to not get. And at 99 bucks, I figured, not bad. I guess that's just so it doesn't come apart with it. I guess that's so it doesn't come apart with the Velcro while shipping. That looks really good. Those are some nice soft tires, actually. Huh. I've never had, any, like I said, any of the FMS mini vehicles. And these are really soft. I'm kind of surprised. So this is a hard body truck. It's not really thick, but it's like, it's pretty strong. So at least it's not going to flex a lot, but it is heavier obviously than any kind of a polycarbonate. LCG wise, it's not going to really go crazy. So what I decided, I'm gonna try to keep this more of a trail truck instead of trying to go crazy, you know, kind of like with the Ascent, where I just kind of took off the body, swapped it all out. I'm going to try to not do anything like that. And not that that was a scale truck either, but you know, I'm going to try to keep this more scale. I'm just kind of, I really want to keep the looks of this. I like how it looks. I don't want to go crazy tires. I don't want to cut any of the fenders. I just want to keep it a good looking little trail truck, kind of mess around with the kids and everything. Like I was saying before, it does come with the different grille. So this is like a Toyota, like the oval emblem with a stock type bumper. A lot of them I see mostly have the actual Toyota spelled out like that, and then these actually have working little shackles. Not that I would ever use them much, because those are quite thin plastic, you know, but they're definitely more for looks. I wouldn't be pulling your buddies around with it or getting pulled out with it, so be careful on that. It does have a hinged body. It's got Velcro on here, which, I mean, it has like centering tabs, which I can't stand Velcro because you get like grass in there and you get all the dirt and everything, and I'm surprised that they're still using it, where they could just put like one big magnet or two, there we go, one big magnet or like two little magnets on each one. So I'll probably end up taking this off and gluing magnets on there. And what's nice is it has the centering tabs right here. So if you put the magnets on here and glue them, put the glue on the top of the magnet and then close this, it's gonna line up right for you. So you don't have to worry about going crazy with trying to line it up. So that is kind of nice right there. It has headlights, and they are working headlights. The rear has, yeah, so it has holes for tail lights and for reverse lights, but there's no lights in it. So I don't know if you can you can kind of see the red and the white. So you could put 3mm LEDs in there, and I will probably be doing that. Obviously not reverse lights because there's no reverse section. Yeah, this is a very, so these receivers are kind of like the Hobby Plus ones because they're made by FMS, but they are way toned down. Hold on. There we go. Like you can kind of see the sort of resemblance. I think they just, you know, instead of having all the options with like the turn signals and the different lights, they just kind of, hey, we only need a couple channels, make it small, make it fit in there. But, so I mean, technically if you really wanted to, if you wanted to add the extra parts, I bet, because this is going to be on the same protocol, 2 ABS, you could swap like this in if you have it hanging around from like say an Arctos or any CR18P truck, or I don't know if any of the other FCX18s may have these or not. Like I said, I've never had one, so, but this could give you some more options for lights and everything, and I bet it would work. We'll have to try that maybe. So anyways, yeah, like I said, it has the lights that I'll be adding. So probably might swap in that other ESC combo from like the Hobby Plus maybe, or I'll just, or I could just tap into these ones. I mean, the wire's already here, so I could just tap into it. Not a big deal. Has plastic links. The difference, I guess, in this truck compared to the FCX24M before it is the rear section. I believe they lengthened the rear links, the rear drive shaft. They lengthened the rear of the chassis, but I think this section is the same from what I hear and what it looks like. Like I said, I don't have one though, so I can't really tell you for sure. But that's what it seems like to me, and from the couple of reviews I've watched and whatnot. So as of right now, I think if you really wanted to, you could buy like front links that are brass and aluminum and whatnot. But you wouldn't. There's nothing right now for the rear. I can't see it on Batrazi's website. I haven't seen it on FMS's website. I haven't seen it on fairrc, Amazon, or anything. So I think we're still kind of waiting on that. But I guess on any of the other stuff will work, like the steering link, the brass servo horn, I think there's like a bumper mount, like a front here, which it looks funny though, because on the one that I saw, it dips down. So maybe it'll work, but it kind of fits differently. I don't know. I'm not sure on that. But supposedly, if you go onto like FairRC's website and whatnot, you can click on Tacoma, and then it'll show you like the upgrades that they do have available for it. It comes with plastic wheels, which are supposed to be like a Tacoma type wheel, which is, I think, looks awesome. I kind of wish that they would do. I'm pretty sure the stock ones were black with silver accents on it. Hold on. Yeah, the stock ones were black, and then the faces were like machined silver. So I wish I'm not a big fan of black wheels, like completely black, because it just looks like it looks like it's just a big wheel tire. You can't see the wheel. It's kind of just there. But if they had made the front silver, it would be sweet. I also wish that I don't know, maybe it's coming out, but if they made a metal version, like a brass or an aluminum with like a brass ring version of this, it would be awesome to keep the scale truck look of the Tacoma, to keep it all together. Because as of right now, I'm probably end up going to be swapping the wheels to some, even though I like the look, I'll probably be swapping them to something else so that I can have a little bit more weight down low. Because even though I'm going to trail with this, I also don't want it to flip over very easily. So I'm going to be adding some weight down low on this thing. I just not right away. I want to play with it, see how it goes first. And like I said, I've never had one, so I kind of want to try it more stock, and then go from there. The wheels are non-bead lock, and the tires are not glued on, so they're very easy to take off. If you do want to keep it stock, and you go through mud and water and everything like that, you could take these off very easily, wash them, and just let them dry. I don't really do a lot of mud and water. Do a little bit, with the 1/10, but if I do, it's usually a 3D printed insert or a silicone insert. I don't know if I'll do it with this, maybe a little bit. So when I do swap the wheels and tires, I'll probably make a 3D printed insert for it, or I'll get a silicone. Probably just make up some kind of a 3D printed insert. It's nice that they did straight axles on it and not portals, because it's a little bit closer to the real truck. But the real truck actually was IFS in these. So, and I get that they're not going to make a whole new front chassis. So I'm okay with it, honestly. It's a toy, so you don't need to go crazy exact. I mean, hey, it's even got a servo in the front, so what truck has that, It's got clear windows, and it's got like a polycarbonate, kind of like a thin plastic. Actually, it's pretty thick for what it is, actually. I think it's thicker than some of the other trucks I've had for an interior. It's got seats in it. It's a little bit of a center console, not much, a little bit of a dash. It's got a molded plastic steering wheel, looks like, in there. See if I get rid of some of the shadow, but yeah, there's not a ton of detail. There's something, and if you're gonna put a little guy in there, you're gonna be chopping them off pretty much at the waist. I don't even think you can get the legs in there, because it's like the steering wheel's almost against the bottom of the seat. There's almost no room there. I mean, molded mirrors. You got the back rack for the bed. You got the fenders. They're screwed on. Bumpers are screwed on. I think the tail. Yeah, it looks like this is a molded piece that looks like it's bolted in from the back, but I don't see how. Maybe it's just stuck on. I think it must be stuck on with like some glue or double-sided tape. Same thing with, no, the fronts are actually like a big light bucket. That's a huge light bucket now I'm looking at it. And it does have, there is an orange insert for the blinker front there area. So you might be able to pull that out, or even if you just put an LED against the orange. Yeah, if you put like an LED against the orange, you could light up the inside if you want, because I can see the orange in the headlight. You cannot do it for the fog light. The fog light is a solid black piece. 2-in-1 ESC, we kind of talked about that already. I've never had a problem with the FMS 2-in-1 ESCs. All of my trucks that, like my son's Arctos is still stock, has that 2-in-1 ESC, and he beats the crap out of it, and I've never had an issue with it. They just kind of work, and the protocol to ABS is all the stock remotes, so if you want a different remote, you can kind of just grab a different stock one if you had it from another truck, bind it right to it, not an issue. Very easy to do. You just you turn the truck on. Well, usually I hold the bind button down on, hold the bind button down, you turn it on, it'll start blinking, and then you turn the truck on, and they should match up. Sometimes they'll keep on blinking, like it looks like it didn't, but then you just turn them both off and on, and then they're connected. It's just like the blinking doesn't stop for some reason. The servos are plastic geared, and supposedly they're pretty good. Like I said, I've never had one, so we'll see how it is. I've been trying to look and see what's Phillips. Oh, for some reason, all the body stuff is Phillips. That's weird. So Phillips on everything on the body here. And then the whole chassis is actually hex. So weird, but okay, I don't really take the body apart much, so I'll give it a pass, I guess, for now. It's probably because it has those plastic, like, coarse threads instead of like an actual machined kind of screw. Metal chassis, unlike the FCX24 non-M, so like the ones that were closer to an FCX18, they were actually a plastic chassis, I guess. Everything I can see online, that's how they were. I don't see anything other than that. The FCX18, I believe, was a metal chassis like this. But then for some reason, the FCX24 was a full plastic chassis. The motor is an 050 it says Power Dash motor, they call it, but it's a longer can than like an FCX24. Hold on. I don't know why I hold on to these things. For whatever reason I do. But this is the 050 sized-ish motor from an SCX24, and you can see it's almost double the length. So supposedly these have pretty good power for stock, and people don't change them out right away. We'll see. I think it's more like, it's kind of like when people put in like the Endura motor in the SCX24s. It's still an 050 size motor, but it's longer can, and this one actually works really well. So who knows, maybe it's like an Endura type motor, or you know, they brought it from the same manufacturer or something, because hopefully, so those are pretty good. Comes with, there we go, a little rubber cover, which I kind of like. I've never really thought about it like that, but that actually works pretty good. And then if you have a bigger battery, it'll stretch up and over it. Not bad. 2S 380 mAh battery. Little foam thing. I think that's just so the battery doesn't slide back, but it's barely kind of stuck in there with just like some double-sided tape. And the other thing it could be, I guess, maybe is to hold the, I guess it could be to make the bed not fall in, but it's bolted in. I mean, it's screwed in pretty good, it looks like, bed-wise, so I don't know. I think that's just to hold the battery. So if you really wanted to get a bigger battery, you could just take that out, you know, because if it's going to be more of a trail truck, bigger battery, longer runtime, you're not really too worried about the crawling aspect of it. So, you know, if you had a little bit more weight, it's not a big deal. The other thing I wonder if this is probably lighter than that ESC, though. It's probably we're close to the same. I was going to say, because if you swap these, I wonder if this is heavier, put it there. But I'm sure that this being so small, probably the same weight. The other thing I saw on this, there's multiple shock positions. So it's kind of nice that they don't give you just, hey, here it is, and that's it. They give you, I think, 6 on the rear and 3 in the front. Then I don't know what this is for. I mean, I guess you could technically kind of make that way over there, but you're going to be lowering it a lot. Yeah, no, you'd be way too low. But if you had longer shocks and you wanted to swing it over there, you could. Not bad. Oh, I forgot to mention the power switch is this little guy here, which is kind of nice because if you want to turn it on and off, like say you're driving around with buddies or something. Oh, it's just a push button. Oh, okay. If you're driving around with buddies and they keep stopping, you want to save your battery, you can turn it on and off, you know. I do hate these little low-C micro connectors. So one of the first things I'll be doing is chopping that off and putting a JST on it. I don't know why we're still putting these little things on. Like, it works, but it's just kind of frustrating. I don't like them. And all my batteries are JST, so I'll be swapping it. Let's see, 2-speed, little servo there. It's crazy that in a small truck like this, we can have 2-speed. Like, it's just kind of nuts to me. But overall, this looks awesome. I love the way this thing looks. I'm gonna get some batteries. We'll throw it in there and turn it on. See how it runs. All right. Takes 4 AAAs. Beeps really loud for some reason. And push on. Bound from factory like it should be. That's nice. Get rid of this. And let's see. Kind of a loud servo. Oh, it does have a servo saver, I forgot to say too. And I think it's weird that they did this weird link here. But I mean, I think they're just trying to, you know, keep the servo a little lower as they could. But they could have literally just raised the servo with, what, 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters, and not had such a low, I don't know why I'm showing you that way, low hanging link. Look how low that is. Oh, anyways, servo, 2-speed. Yeah, it does have a neutral technically, because a lot of these, because it's a 3-position switch, neutral. Forward is second gear. And then, oh yeah, first gear is all the way towards me. Let's see, lights on? Lights are not on. Oh yeah, you gotta click the bind button, I believe. Oh, yeah, I guess so. There's a delay. Those are some pretty bright lights. Really just wish that they had the tails. I thought that these were oil-filled shocks, but not sure. I might have to take those apart and check them. So this has counter-rotating shafts to try to help with that torque twist. You can get some pretty low speed on there. That's full speed, by the way. Let's see. Oh, it's slower in reverse, so it's kind of nice that they did that. Oh, that's full speed both directions. So it is. They have reverses slower than forward. That's kind of nice. Not by much. It's probably 75% reverse. Pretty smooth though. I mean, it's brushed and it's a stock ESC, so you're only going to be so smooth. But not bad. There we go. Let's put these on here, see how it looks. Oh yeah, look at that articulation, guys. Not bad. It's actually pretty much maxed out, surprisingly. Turning circle, as we expected from a long wheelbase truck, not the greatest, but this thing just looks awesome. I love how it's going to be a great little trailing truck. Okay, so I took this whole thing apart, and I just realized now that I didn't start recording again when I put it back together. But I wanted to take this apart to see if it had metal gears, and it does. It's one solid shaft through. It's got like some flat spots in the middle to hold the gear and everything. The problem is, to take this cover off, you need to take the wheel off, the hex off, the pins, the link, you know, those screws there, because this is like sleeved over this section here. This is a half, and this goes over to hold it together and hold it together. So you take these 4 screws off, these 2, wheel and wheel, and then you can slide this whole thing off, and then take that off. That was a kind of a pain, so I'm not going to do that again. And you can see that in the instructions if you really need to. But yeah, it does have metal gears in it. And they were greased up. Didn't have to add any. And I didn't have an issue. Oh, and I forgot to mention, these screws here that were holding the links on were stripped from factory. This is my Wera screwdriver, hex driver I use for all my FCX24s and the smaller 1.6 and 2 millimeter type bolts. And as you can see right here, I can literally just spin this. It's not like this is stripped out. I'm just tightening it up, no problem, right? The 2 screws here were just spinning, and I was like, well, maybe it's a 1.5, I guess, and it's not. I tried the 1.5. These are just whoever's tightened them up from factory. Just it literally just, it's like they're a circle. There's like nothing there on both of those. I was very surprised. Luckily, I have extra parts from my SCX24s, so I just put in new screws. So we got a little bit of FCX24 parts in there now. All right, all back together. This wheel, if I tighten it too much, it jams up, kind of like an SCX24 does a lot of times. So just be careful of that, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. This side didn't seem to do it. This side did. So not sure. Let's do some size comparisons. This is obviously a different body and everything, but this is an Ascent 18. The wheelbase is almost exactly the same, width-wise bigger, but this also has wider offset wheels. So, you know, not exact copy, but, you know, wheelbase-wise, it's the same. This one is my daughter's almost stock deadbolt. Just got some wheels, tires, servo, stuff like that. Yeah, but a little longer. I think that this is about the size of the SCX24 that's not longer. So there, track width, I'd say close to the same, honestly, because this just has wider. These are some pretty deep wheels. And then next to each other, like that, you know, they seem like they'd be around the same size. And then my Bronco has a good amount done to it, but just to get a size comparison, yeah, definitely longer, like we said. Track width is, you know, about the same, because these actually aren't as offset. Not that that's helpful to you guys right there, but, you know, I don't know how else to show it. Yeah, I'd say about 20 millimeters or so different in length. But I'd say that those could definitely drive around-ish each other. It's pretty close, and they'd look not too far off. That's about it for something that's going to be close to this. You know, Arctos and Teardown, they're not even going to be in the same league, shall we say. So I'm not even going to bother with those. I think that's about it for going over everything. It's a really nice truck. I love how this thing looks. So I'm going to go, I'll go do some trailing with it, get some footage for you. See how it looks in the real world, you know? And we'll be back. Alright guys, and we're back from testing it out. This thing is definitely no line slayer. The long wheelbase kind of kills it too. This area here gets hung up. Well, that's an easier way to see it probably. It's just like a straight 90 right there. I kind of wish that they had the transmission flipped around if they could have, and had like this output here, so even if you're dragging on the drive shaft, at least it's kind of like a ramp up. And I left the controller on too long. It beeps at you after a while. It's kind of nice. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah. So I kind of wish this was on this side. I don't know if that could have been done. I've never. I don't think the other ones are like that either. I got a camel trophy on the way, a D110, and I'm pretty sure looking at pictures and stuff, it's the same direction. I wish that I think Batrazi makes an upgrade that goes all the way around this area, and it makes our little ramp here. But I just kind of like, why wouldn't they just do that stock? Even like continue this around. I don't really get it, but whatever. Didn't really hang up on much anything in the front. It's pretty rounded. I thought I was gonna hit this steering link a lot, and I barely ever hit it. I was also trying to do a lot more scale lines. I wasn't going for crazy hard lines. Obviously, it's got 47mm tires, so so I wasn't trying to go crazy. But I just thought that I would get hung up more. I really got hung up more ish here, and then the back of the bed. The departure angle is a little rough just because of the smaller tires. Oh, and that's another thing. I just doing that. I didn't notice this until I was out on the rocks. It's lower in the rear than it is the front. Like that's compressed all the way. Kind of hard to see because of black tire, black fender, but this has more wheel gap than that fender. And it even looks that way if you look at the links. The links kind of go down a little bit in the front, right here. They go towards the axle, whereas the rear are nice and flat. I don't want to lower it, so I'm going to probably lift this up like one hole. There's like 6. Yeah, there's 6 spots, so I'm definitely going to lower it down one. Not sure if I'll do the front or the rear hole. We'll see. But I didn't know. I was like just sitting there, taking a couple pictures, and I was like, man, that looks a little crooked. And I just happened to do this, and I noticed it. So not a big deal. It can be adjusted. Just weird that it's from factory. It's a little off. I don't know. That's a weird one. It's so cool how realistic this looks for being such a small truck. I mean, the wipers, they're down inside the cowl area, kind of like they are on a stock vehicle. You got the little antenna dot. They have even though it doesn't work, there's a cargo light right there, third brake light. Like the lights look real. Everything looks, I mean, for a 1/24th plastic model, as much as it can, looks real. In pictures, if you don't know it's the truck, you can almost think that it's a real one. So it is so cool. I'm surprised how clear the Lexan windows are. There's a little bit of a rainbow effect on them, but I'm sure that half that's from my oily fingers. But there's a little wave to them. But I mean, it's for a Lexan, window. I was very surprised at how clear it was. And the only thing I really wish body-wise they would have done is I really wish that they would have put the taillights in. It's a couple 3mm LEDs, and you're already running wire to the back here. So even if they didn't do brake lights or anything, just have like a T off of it and go into the taillights, just for taillights and headlights. So kind of surprised on that one. But body-wise, looks great. Looks-wise, total fan. So glad I got this one. I didn't have any problem with the servo. It seemed fine. There's also not a lot of weight on it. I mean, you're all stock 47mm tires. They are really grippy, but they're not so heavy that they're going to be stuck, on the rocks or anything. The servo is a little noisy, but I think a lot of it is maybe the hard body amplifying it. Let me see. Yeah, maybe a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell. But I know I can deal with it. It's fine, especially when you're not this close to it usually. I'm only like 1.5 feet away from it. You're usually a couple feet away. It's not bad. Plus you're outside, the noise around you is kind of, you don't really notice it. This thing, power-wise, was pretty smooth. The only thing is when you go to take off, it seems like it's kind of a little jumpy. Like on here, it didn't seem that bad, but I'm just kind of going flat. I think I'm just not used to it maybe. Maybe I'm not used to this can size, maybe this transmission. I'm not sure. I mean, once it was moving though, it was fine. It was just kind of like the takeoff was a little jumpy, even in low gear. I think that might just be me just getting used to the truck though. I don't have a ton of hours on it. I've only ran a couple battery packs through it. Speaking of battery packs, I did swap over to JST so I can use other batteries. Yeah, these things, no, stop it. The speed in second is great. You can just tool around, not like jump, but you know, kind of mess around a little bit on the trail, mess around on some roots and everything. When you need that second gear to kind of jump up over things, you got it. It's a really good middle ground, I think, because you don't want to go crazy fast, especially with something like this. You're just going to be flopping and falling all over the place, flipping over, hitting things, because there's not a ton of weight, so it's just kind of bouncing everywhere you go. And the low crawl is really slow, so you can crawl on things if you want to. You can get up on things. It's really good. I'm definitely a fan of the 2-speed in these trucks. I wasn't sure what to expect, being so small, and I've never had one, so I was curious if it was even going to be that great. And I think I mentioned it a little bit on the tires. These tires are really good for what they are. I saw the pattern and I'm like, they're kind of rounded. They don't look anything crazy, but they're actually really impressive for being this small. They're really soft and grippy. I like whatever compound they are. It's a nice compound. It's almost making me think about getting, these are I think 0.8, 0.9 wheels. It does not say, and online I cannot find what it actually is, because it's weird. If you go on the websites, I think Petrozzi, Fairrc and stuff, they give you recommendations for wheels, and they give you 0.8 and 0.9. So if these are 0.8 tires, I can see you can put a 0.9 tire on a 0.8. Well, I tried putting these on a 1.0. Nope. It just looks like a rubber band. It looks like a goofball. But I think if you had 0.8 tire on the 0.9, it wouldn't be that bad. It's not that big of a difference. But if this is a 0.9 tire and you're going to buy a 0.8 wheel, it might fit because it's close, but that doesn't usually work. I know 1.2s and 1.3s you can't do that with, but if you put a 1.3 wheel on a 1.2 tire, it's fine. I don't have anything here like that. Oh, these are, nope, these are not. Technically these are 1.2 tires, they say, but they're 1.3s. But I had these on these stock Arctos tires, and it was like there was no difference in 1.2 to 1.3 at all. But I just don't know, being this small, there's not as much sidewall to kind of make it flex out. I'm not sure. The other thing I'm kind of not sure about, if I get a 0.8 or 0.9 wheel, there's like no options for those tires. Petrozzi sells some. I think Fairrc sold some, but I think they're technically Petrozzi. I think RC 4-wheel drive sells some, but I'm not really seeing much over here in the States that you can buy. So I don't want to be stuck with a wheel that I can't get a tire for. Even though they have a really, there's a set called the Sheriff right now that they have on sale for $17 with brass rings and everything. I really like the look of those wheels. I think it'll fit on this tire, but it's a 0.8, and I don't know if this is a 0.9. It's kind of hard. You can measure them, but 0.8, 0.9, it's kind of And I don't want to be, like I said, I don't want to buy it and be stuck with it, and I don't have another tire option. So even though I think the 1.0s are going to look a little goofy, so technically if it's a 0.8 wheel, it's about a 19.5 inch, I think, if my math is correct. So like I did 0.8, times 24. Did I do that math? Hold on. Yeah, 19.2. 0.8 times 24-ish. It would be a 19-inch wheel. People put 20s all the time on their Tacomas nowadays, on their Tundras and everything like that. I can see it. The problem with a 1.0 is it's 20. That's a 24. And who's running a 24 on a rock crawling type of truck nowadays? It's usually people with their rubber band tires and like mall crawlers, and that's about it. So it's probably what I'm going to end up doing, because I want an option for tires, and I already have some options, and I don't want to be stuck, like I said, with a 0.8, 0.9 wheel, and I can't get a tire for it. So we'll see. I got a couple options I want to go over with you guys and show you, and maybe you guys can throw down in the comments what you think. I'll do that towards the end, though, just to kind of have that question fresh in your mind. But anyway, these tires, though, great for trail. If you buy this truck and you use just this, it'll be fine crawling around, trailing around, having fun. You're not going to have an issue. You're not going to be able to do killer lines, like I said, but it's also a long wheelbase truck with a not great departure angle. So, one thing I didn't notice until I went outside, this isn't a big deal. This is just something I just thought of. Can you guys see that? I might have to take a picture. This is like a grayish blue, and this is black. Oh, you can kind of see it there. So all my controllers like this that I've had before are black, and this one's like a gray blue. I didn't notice those in the sun, though. Like here, I kind of don't see it. you know, if I have it like this by itself, I don't see it really. Oh, you guys can see it wicked good on the screen there. But next to each other, I can see it like crazy, and you can see it there. Not a big deal. I just thought that was odd. I don't know if it's just a color choice with them or if they're changing to this color for these type of controllers or not. I don't know. Overall, I think this is a great truck. I love how it looks. It performs really good for a scale trail truck. I don't know why I keep putting my hand in front of it. My apologies, guys. This is something that you're going to buy if you just want to toot around, trail around, and not go crazy hard lines, because unless you put in crazy tires on it, you give it a crazy lift with springs, you cut out the fenders possibly, you're not doing any crazy lines. So if you treat this how it's supposed to be, you're going to have a great time. If you try to go crazy hard lines, like you're going to take a cab only truck, you're going to take, you know, your Line Slayer, FCX24, SN18, anything like that, this isn't going to follow it. So don't expect it to. Just go and have fun with this truck and just admire the looks. Like I was just kind of looking at it all the time. I was trying to do things, but I just liked seeing it move. I liked watching it. I liked taking pictures of it because it just looks so cool driving around, and it's just a toy. For 99 bucks and now 129 for the sales missing because the sale's gone. Not bad at all. I don't know. I'm on the fence about the 129 price. I would buy another one of these at 99 right now because I kind of want to get one for my son, but I think I'm going to wait for a sale. At least maybe get closer to that 110. I think that's just me being cheap because I bought it at $99. If I didn't get it at 99, I think I'd be fine with it at 130. But kind of like I had that taste of like a sale, and it's like I want it again, you know, kind of thing. I mean, I just bought a D110, which is this but shorter, in a bigger body, and you know, a spare tire and stuff for 89 bucks. So, and that's a sale. You're usually like, I think they're usually like around the 129. Like, actually, I think they're around 119. So they're going to go on sale again, especially Christmas is coming up here. They're having Black Friday sale now, but they might have a little bit more, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. But I'll be getting another truck definitely for my son. And I'm just going to wait for a sale. If you're interested in getting this truck, I'm going to have an affiliate link down below. It doesn't cost you anything, but it gives me like 5% back. Just helps the channel out. I can buy some upgrades, do some mods, show you guys how everything's, you know, taken apart. Because I'll be having I'm not going crazy with this truck, but I'm definitely going to do some modifications. I'm going to do some wheels and tires. I'm going to throw some brass on it down low because it definitely will help. It does pretty good how it is just because of how long it is. Like going uphill, it's not flipping over backwards. It's going to roll sideways, if anything. That's what I saw it doing. There's definitely there's like no oil in these shocks. And from what I can tell online, these are supposed to be oil-filled shocks. So I think they're just kind of, I opened it up a little bit and did the rear. Okay. When I was talking to you guys about this rear end, I was actually originally taking this stuff apart to check the shocks to see if they're oiled or not. And I took one apart, and there's definitely a little bit of oil in there, grease or something, and there's like a little sort of bladder on top with a seal, and there's an O-ring on the bottom. Actually, I didn't turn the video on to record, but whatever. So they're supposedly oil-filled or grease-ish type filled. So I'm going to try to refill those with some thicker stuff, see how that goes before replacing. I'm trying to not throw parts at it first. I do know I need to add some weight, so I will be throwing some brass at it. But Trozzy has the skid here. I'm going to throw an aluminum one on here, though, because it's kind of higher up. I'm going to get the brass steering link. What else was there? Oh, the brass servo mount. The wheels that I kind of picked out for it right now have brass rings inside. I'll show you guys those options in a little bit. And, yeah, just add a little bit down below, some brass hexes. So just to add a little bit, because I could tell, like, if it had a lower weight down here, it wouldn't have been as bad flipping over like it did. It wasn't a lot, but I could just tell it needed a little bit more weight. But out of the box, it is pretty fun. Just, you know, like I mean, you guys are watching this because you like this truck, and you're probably going to throw mods at it. You're just like me. You can't just leave it stock. You got to make it a little better at least. I know it's not going to go crazy and follow a lot of my other trucks, so I'm going to make this capable for a trail truck, and that's it. I'm not going to go nutso with it. I'm not going to go crazy tires. So anyway, speaking of tires, I, on a sale on J Concepts, got a bunch of these tusks that are glued on wheels, and they're a pretty good size. The problem, okay, so I did some math. Well, I did some math and I forgot it. So hold on. Okay, yeah, no, I was right. A 47 millimeter tire in a 1-to-1 from a 1/24th is a 44-inch tire. So technically right now, in the real world, this is like a 44-inch tire. These would be a 49 and a half. No, 49. So these are 44 and a half. Sorry. These are 49. So, I mean, we're not exactly going small tire on this truck anyways. So it's kind of funny right out of the box. But I mean, if you had anything smaller than that, it would look goofy, I feel like. So, I don't know. But either way, I got these. And they're not that much bigger. These rub the least because of the offset. It's so far in, it's not bad. Like these don't rub at all. This rubs a scotch here and a scotch there, and I wouldn't mind it. I also have landmines, and I was kind of thinking about these, but they're the same wheel, so I don't care about that. But I like that these kind of sort of look like a tread pattern, like an actual truck tread pattern, you know? So on like a landmine where it just looks like a hieroglyphic sort of thing. I actually debonded a set of the landmines from those tires, and they came out, you know, halfway decent. Like, I kind of use the debonder, and then I use a razor blade to kind of get them out nicely. And then I did a set of the tusks also, because that's what I'm really thinking about doing. And I had bought these wheels. They're brass rings, aluminum wheel. And I think that those are going to actually look halfway decent on there. I don't think they're going to look too goofy as far as size-wise. And these, because of the offset, do rub a little bit more here and down in here. And I can't lift it anymore. Not that I want to lift it much. I mean, I could, but, you know. But I was thinking about running these and seeing, I don't know. The reason I don't really want to do these ones is because I don't want a black wheel. But I already have them. They fit. They don't really rub. And they're already here. Like, I don't have to buy anything else. These ones, I really wanted the brass. Oh, and then I do have, these are some FCX24 brass hexes, and they fit fine on there. I was going to run these with these, because these don't really work on here, because, no, these ones work fine. I had bought some other ones. Am I dumb? Yeah, these ones work fine. Well, you know, aluminum and brass, they're kind of tight, but I had bought some other ones for FCX24, because of that ring. I forgot that one had on. It fits in there, and you could technically use it, but it doesn't go in about 1 millimeter or 2, and I don't know if after a while maybe you'd have issues with, you know, it slipping out or, you know, whatever. They fit perfectly fine on the stock wheel though. And they fit on these. Yeah, they fit on these fine too, because they don't have the bolts around the edge. Like if these didn't have the bolts here, these would fit. And then these other ones, these ones don't have the ring on the inside. So they fit fine into the, well, they fit really tight into these wheels, so they fit. But once they're on, they ain't coming off really that easily. I just had to push it out with a screwdriver. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? I also have these wheels. I wouldn't use these tires. They're bigger. I'm not really sure on those. I don't really know if I like the crazy beadlock look with the bolts. I know this one has like the fake bolts, but I'm not sure. And I think that the offset's about the same. I'm kind of digging it's like a sort of bronzy gray. It's like a gray. I guess you can see it a little better there. Like a light bronze gray color. The silver color, which I think this looks the best. But then if I don't want any rubbing, these just bolt right on and there's no problem. But there's less weight. This is almost nothing. It's like a stock wheel. This thing probably weighs about 3 of these wheels, at least entire. This isn't as much, but it is heavier, and I could probably put the brass ring in here into this. So let me know what you think. I'll probably just gonna go with these ones. But just kind of curious on what other people's thoughts are. I think that's it for this truck. I got some upgrades coming for it. The brass parts, the wheels, the tires, the lights. I was gonna have a brushless system to go in here. I got from a company, but I don't think it's gonna fit. That 050 motor is right up against the transmission, and it's a 1520 motor outrunner, and I don't think it's going to fit in there. It's going to be close if it does. I don't think so though. I think I'll have to move the wires if anything too, which is fine. But like I I don't think it's gonna fit. So I kind of just wanted it a little bit smoother. This isn't bad, but you know, if I can go brushless, why not? And I, you know, got it sent to me. I got to do a review on it. So I thought it would be great to put it in here. We'll see. If not, I'll pick another truck and I'll throw it in, see how it is. Well, I think that's it for this one. Did you end up getting one of these? What'd you get? Did you get the blue one, the red one, the gray one? I almost got the gray. Really glad I got the blue though. Really digging this color. The metallic pops in the sun like crazy. Do you have any mods for it that you're going to be doing? You already have anything? Maybe you already did. Put it down below. I'm guessing most people are going to do wheels and tires for the weight. There's no links available for it yet. I definitely want to get those on. I'm hoping they're going to be aluminum, not brass. Maybe brass fronts, I guess, and lowers. But I really like to. I don't know. I know a lot of places end up liking to go brass because they like the weight there, but I like it down here more. But we'll see. You know, if that's all they have, that's all they have. But yeah, if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, throw them down below. Happy to hear them. Happy to answer what I can since I got it here. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.